we are going to be watching Daredevil Born Again trailer for the very first time. We didn't watch it when it was first published a few hours ago. We're now going to be doing it for the very first time and reviewing it once we're done with it. I'm very honored to welcome back Son of Sparta for our live broadcast. Son of Sparta, as you can see on the side of my screen, is having his very precious Marvel's Netflix Daredevil collectible action figure, along with the beauty Frank Castle, the Punisher action figure. And the attention lies in the detail. You can see how beautiful it is. We are quite excited to be uh, doing this after waiting for so long, because we couldn't wait 2020 for 2025 to start sooner. And before we start watching the trailer, Son of Sparta, I want you to basically share what you have about this series per se.
About the series or what to look forward to?
Yeah,
Well, I can tell you this is the most Marvel series that we're looking forward to. I think Marvel series on Disney Plus they've been very hit or miss, right? So like we've been looking forward to a lot of these shows. She-Hulk, Miss Marvel. I feel like not all of them. They all lacked the hype that we got with the Netflix series. And like I feel like it's been a while since we got a series that we were really excited about as much as we did when we had Daredevil back in the day. And Daredevil's been off the air for like I think it was canceled back in 2018. Man, it's been so long since we had a very good Marvel show on TV. So hopefully this will reignite that love for live action Marvel TV shows that we had since back in the day. I feel like Kevin Feige has really put a lot of effort and care into ensuring that this is the show that we've been waiting years for, as opposed to the other shows. People have been saying WandaVision has been the best show. If that's true, it's been years since we got a good show on Disney Plus, a good Marvel show.
exactly.
So hopefully this will be the one to break the streak. This will be the one that we've been looking forward to. I feel like the one question that Charlie Cox gets asked the most at every convention is, when are we going to see Daredevil again on screen? And he knows he had the most popular character on TV. He knows we haven't seen a character that has surpassed Daredevil since. So
No,
you know
no doubt.
we've had we've had several cameos for Daredevil here and there. He popped up in Spider-Man: No Way Home. He popped up in Echo.
She-Hulk.
So She-Hulk, he had a good cameo in that one. I feel like that was the one good thing about She-Hulk, Daredevil's cameo. But hopefully, this series, every single episode, will be something to look forward to.
Hopefully, especially
Mm.
it's coming at a time when we are seeing a revival in DC live action animation. I've just finished like halfway through the Creature Commandos season, and I'm frankly like pretty much getting convinced about the fact that James Gunn is on his way to give Marvel a run for their money.
Yes.
And it's really important that Marvel doesn't screw it up. And like you said, that WandaVision was the best series, and it's been how long? It's been like 2022 that happened, and the only other series that is worth mentioning after WandaVision was Moon Knight. So
Yeah.
before now, without taking much of the time of our viewers, we are now going to be watching the trailer live, and brace yourselves, everyone.
Thank you for finding the time. I will admit, it's not entirely unpleasant seeing you again. A lot of time has passed. By the look of it, you've come up in the world.
I could say the same about you.
The mayor serves his city. I can see you're not entirely convinced.
Can you blame me? I can't shake the feeling that you're gaming the system.
Why did you stop being a vigilante?
The line was crossed.
It's hard to come to terms with the violent nature. Hating the power it has over us.
This city can't go unchecked.
Sometimes peace needs to be broken. And chaos must reign.
I'm putting the hatchet down. I was raised to believe in grace. But I was also raised to believe in retribution.
One shot. Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Man,
let me.
man, you see the smile on my face?
Yeah, I just wanted to avoid the copyright issues.
You see the smile on my face right now?
It's relatable. It's pretty relatable, bro. It's pretty relatable.
Let's send a basket of flour of biscuits and cookies to Kevin Feige right now. Let's just say thank you, man. I feel like this is it. This is what we've been waiting for. I honestly, before watching this trailer, I was like, whatever. We're gonna get a good series. I feel like this is gonna surpass our expectations. I feel like this is the one show we have been waiting for.
Okay, what references did you come across in the trailer? What
Okay.
was
Okay, so the one thing that was spoiled for me while I was scrolling through Facebook, is someone took a screenshot of White Tiger, and I'll admit I'm not too familiar with the character, but the last time I saw this character was in a cartoon show called Ultimate Spider-Man,
yeah.
and it was a girl at the time. I guess they're using another iteration right now. It's apparently it's a guy. So not too attached, but I'm still excited nonetheless. um we get this intense conversation between Kingpin and my boy, but and Daredevil, and they're saying how it's been a few years. And I think this is a popular story in the comics where he runs from mayor, right?
Yes, I
Yeah.
believe this was written by Mark Wade,
Yeah.
and this is like one of the more recent stories.
Yeah.
Just a disclosure for all the fans out there: this is not heavily inspired on the by the Frank Miller run, which was in 1986 by the same name, Daredevil Born Again.
Oh, they'll probably take some elements from that, but
They already took it, because if you remember when we were watching season 2, the end of season 2, and then uh, season 3 when it began, so a quite bit of detail was taken from there. I'll remind each and every one of you that you remember that scene when Daredevil is injured and he is taken in by the church, and
yeah,
there's a nun, a senior nun,
yeah,
sitting beside him. That
mhm,
scene exactly was taken from Frank Miller's Daredevil Born Again.
yeah,
So now, as far and pretty much what Kingpin had done to Matt Murdock in the comic book Born Again series,
yeah,
it was pretty much covered, if you will,
yeah,
in the previous 2 seasons out of 3. So I for me personally, I'm not having the expectation that this is going to be having. It might have a little bit, but most of it is going to be coming in from the Mark Wade run, which is Mayor Fisk, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
S- Uh, Son of Sparta, sorry,
Yeah.
we just got this awkward silence. Uh, just continue with what other elements that you came across.
Oh man, I'm just trying to process everything. We got some really good fight scenes. If it was anything that the show left us, the previous iteration was that hallway fight scene. So we get a couple of really quick snippets of some really good fights. We got a good punches from Kingpin. We got to see the infamous Punisher. He's going to be there. We got to see Charlie
Beautiful
Cox.
action figure.
Oh, thank you. We got to see Matt Murdock yell at him at Frank Castle. He's got Frank. Uh,
You
something's going
you
on.
you don't remember me, Frank?
Yeah, something's going on. He's lost it as Frank always does every once in a while. He loses it, and I guess Matt needs to bring him back to earth. Uh, but every once in a while, we need another hero to bring us back to where we are. So that's what most stood out to me. There were two very prominent sayings in this trailer. There was the one where, well, oh gosh, what was you need to let chaos reign. I think that was the one that Kingpin said.
Yeah.
And then what was it? Oh, I don't have it on me. What was the one on the poster? And then
Why did you stop being a vigilante?
why did you stop being vigilant? But there was the one. Hang on, I got to pull up the poster because the poster is very nice. Hang on.
Yeah, but you remember what Matt Murdock says afterwards? A
Oh, what's
line
he say? What was that? What did he say?
a line was crossed.
Oh, absolutely. So something happens. Do you remember the end of the last series? They had sort of peace between them, right?
So,
So I
because you're absolutely right, because it was like, you let Karen go, you don't touch my friends,
yep,
okay.
yep,
And so
yep.
yeah, you got that right.
So they had peace for a couple of years. Apparently, I'm assuming that's what happened. And something happened. I think either that he's going back into his old ways, the Kingpin, or that him running for mayor is very concerning for Matt. Something's happening that is having him. And I think this is also taking place. I guess real time has passed. It's been a couple of years
Yes.
because we saw him in the original suit, and then he switched to the yellow suit in She-Hulk, and he's got a new suit here. And so I think we're going to see a couple of iterations of the suit at some point. So that's pretty cool. I'm still trying to find the poster.
Did you come across that scene where we saw
Hmm.
multiple helmets of Daredevil?
Yes, yes, we saw the black one.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm really hoping we get to see the full black suit at some point with the red eyes.
Okay. Now, I want to ask you about the main antagonist over here.
Yeah.
And but is there anything you want to share before we proceed?
Oh, we forgot one guy actually. Bullseye. I believe he's also in the trailer. I think he was in prison.
Yes,
Yes,
yes. The guy in the orange
jumpsuit.
tracksuit. Yeah,
Yep.
that's him.
Yeah. So he's coming back. He was a very cool villain. Dude, say what you will about the Ben Affleck Daredevil series. Colin Farrell was an amazing Bullseye in that movie.
Colin Farrell is a great actor, and
Yeah.
I mean, like, any role he touches is something which uh, he just takes it to new heights. But the only
Yep.
problem I had was, the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie had bad
Mm.
aesthetics.
Yes, yes.
And when I say
Mm.
bad aesthetics, first of all, I love the late Michael Clark Duncan as an actor, but
Mm.
I certainly would not have wanted him to be the Kingpin. There are
Mm.
so many other roles the in the Marvel universe which Michael Clark Duncan would have been used for.
Yeah.
The Daredevil costume, Ben Affleck was looking amazing in that, but I
Yeah.
really didn't appreciate what they had done with Colin Farrell.
Mm.
You know, that tattooed bullseye mark and all that.
Yeah.
That's something that just makes it look really silly. Why? Because Daredevil is like, you know uh, first of all, Marvel universe is all about uh, the universe that exists outside our window, and it
Yes.
applies to most of the characters.
Yeah.
uh, but it goes deep when it comes to Daredevil,
Yeah.
because this is how it was uh, done by Frank Miller. We have to give him credit, because the moment he took reins of Daredevil in the late 70s, people are
Yeah.
talking about his work for Daredevil Born Again. But Born Again was published in 1986. This
Yeah.
dude made it a first year hero out of
Yeah.
Daredevil in the starting with the late 70s.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of world we are in. And to have a villain that's like, because even in comics, Bullseye is wearing a costume. He doesn't have, how should I say, like, he doesn't go out in the world showing off his tattoo on his forehead.
Yeah.
So seeing Lester in being brought back is a very promising element from Daredevil Born Again series. Now, I want to ask you, how
Oh, hang on.
excited are you? Okay, you want to share something before I ask you
Oh,
the other?
just one thing. I've been spending all this time trying to find the poster. I just found it. So this is the official poster. It was released today. It's
Yes,
a beautiful image of them, like two sides of the same coin, right? But it
kind of.
also has a saying on the top saying the devil's work is never done.
Yeah,
Because I think at some point he tries to retire, right? Matt Murdock, he's tired of this. Maybe at some point he's been doing this for years again, going out as a lawyer and a blind man trying to defend the defenseless. And so it's really cool how these guys are opposites of each other. How they're both trying to do. They say that every villain is the hero of his own story.
yes,
So Kingpin never sees himself in the wrong. He sees himself as a person trying to uphold the law, serve his community, all that. And so they're both trying to do the same thing in their own way, except, Murdoch will try to use the justice system. When that doesn't work, he'll slightly take things into his own hands.
that's one thing, because Kingpin looks at himself as vigilante, but
Mm.
deep down inside, he knows that where he is wrong, if you will.
Yeah,
Because basically, he doesn't suffer from that lack of clarity. He's a
yeah,
downright uh, dark,
yeah.
manipulative individual. and seeing him becoming the mayor of New York City, we all know that why people do it, because they need to basically, like, cover their tracks for organized crime and so many other things.
Mm.
They need to win over the politicians by buying them with their deep pockets. This is something straight out of a political thriller, if you will. And
Let me
sprinkled with superhero dust. Sorry, continue.
Let me ask you, because we are going to get another villain this year who is sort of similar from DC in Nicholas Holt's portrayal of Lex Luthor. How would you compare these two? Because I feel like Lex Luthor, also in the comics at some point, was elected president.
Yes, yes, he
Yes.
was. But
Mm,
here's the thing. I mean,
mm,
Lex Luthor is blinded by his ego. Kingpin
mm.
is not.
Yeah, yeah.
And Lex Luthor has this, I don't know if this would be right, but he
Mm,
has this inferiority complex,
mm, mm.
that I come from a big family in Metropolis. I'm a multi-billionaire.
Yeah,
Uh, and to be frank, I mean, like, his company has led a lot of scientific projects which would bring betterment to humankind.
yeah,
But the way he sees people loving Superman, and
yeah. Mm,
adoring Superman,
yeah,
and he himself has, I mean, this has been his issue. The
yeah,
other bit is that we need to understand that the Superman relationship with Lex Luthor comes out from the Quran and the Torah, the story of Musa alayhi salam, Moses, and Ramesses, Pharaoh. So, on one side, you are seeing this Boy Scout, humble, caring, loving, selfless, someone who upholds truth and justice no matter what. He doesn't care if people like him or hate him. And on the
Yeah.
other side, you have someone who has been blessed with unlimited resources, but he wants to be feared and revered as a god on earth.
Yeah.
So the psychological difference between Kingpin and Lex Luthor is like it's like oceans apart. I mean, there is the only
Mhm.
similarity that I can think of is business. But again, Lex Luthor is the owner of a legitimate business
Yeah.
that does some illegitimate, shady things.
Mhm.
Kingpin, on the other hand, is organized crime.
Yeah.
And in Born Again, he is going to basically do what we call money laundering. And when it comes to the image, it's
Yeah.
called window dressing,
Mhm.
cleaning up his image.
Yeah.
So there's a great deal of difference in these two characters.
Yeah.
I never in my life have equated Lex Luthor with Kingpin. Now, uh, there is this one villain I'm really
Mhm.
eager to talk about.
Mhm.
What's your take on Muse?
Oh, dude, I gotta be honest with you. I should have probably read up on it because I feel like in the rogue gallery that is Daredevil, I feel like he's not one of the most popular villains, right?
He's a recent villain. He was
Mhm.
created back in 2016
Oh,
uh,
okay.
by Charles Soule and I think Ron Garney.
Okay.
And the reason I am pretty much excited to have him is because of his modus operandi. He is a
Right.
serial killer
Mhm.
who loves to make his victims
Mhm.
his work of art.
Oh,
So we are going to be seeing on one side Muse, we're going
yeah,
to be having Bullseye,
yeah.
and we are going to be having Kingpin.
I feel like Kingpin is going to be the one pulling the strings for all these other villains, right?
Obviously, that's why he
Yeah,
is Kingpin,
yeah,
Wilson Fisk.
yeah,
And basically, give me your take on that. Plus, we are now seeing the White Tiger.
yeah.
Now, White Tiger for me is really important. You know why? Because White Tiger is not just some kind of a vigilante like
Mm.
Daredevil.
Yeah,
He is a very important part from the world of Marvel's martial arts, involving Shang-Chi,
yeah,
involving Daughters of the Dragon, involving Iron Fist.
yeah.
Give me your take on that.
Um, I mean, as far as I can tell, the iteration I was familiar with, so White Tiger usually gets his power from, I think, a pendant. As far as I know, is that still what they're going to be going with right now, or are they going to going with, he's just a martial artist on his own sense?
I think right
Mm,
now, because they haven't shared much of the details, the only thing is
mm,
that we have seen him for the first time on the screen.
yeah,
uh, and obviously they will make some changes because it rarely happens that
yeah.
comic book adaptation is done 100% on the live action scene.
Absolutely. I'm just excited to see him team up with Frank again and with White Tiger, with some new heroes. Because he's got a lot on his plate this time around with three villains in this series. So as long as we get some new villains, we get some new heroes to team up with. I feel like, and we got some side characters as well. Like I said, we got Foggy, we got Karen. Who knows who else is going to be popping up? I feel like we got a full roster of characters in this series.
Exactly, and that's the thing. I mean, like I don't we need to be how should I say, ready uh,
Mhm.
to basically experience more characters
Yeah.
because like if we look into this series altogether, what we are coming across is the fact that we not only have the Daredevil's Rogues Gallery, but we also have someone who serves as a link between the street level heroes of Marvel
Yeah,
and the world of Marvel's martial arts.
yeah.
People like, as I mentioned, Shang-Chi and Daughters of the Dragon and all these, Iron Fist and all these other characters. How
I
is
will.
this? Sorry.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
continue.
Oh no, I just want to say it's good that we're not delving too much into, well, not at all. I would say the supernatural, because he could have teamed up with Iron Fist, and it would have made a little bit of sense because Iron Fist logistically needs a comeback. It was not it was probably the least favorable series on Netflix back in the day. So I hope at some point they do him justice. But
That's a must.
yeah.
That's a must.
Um, it's good that he's not teaming up with Doctor Strange or Ghost Rider, although I do also hope we get another Ghost Rider at some point.
We need.
Um, but like you said, the fact that he's teaming up with another martial artist, because Frank Castle he mostly got trained in the military, so his knowledge of martial arts is mostly straight is tied to that, whatever training he got in the military.
Yes.
Um, so we'll see where White Tiger got his training. If it's up in the mountains, if it's in the desert, if it's in the jungles of Africa, we'll find out. Hopefully, it's something interesting that we can explore. And who knows, if it's well received, maybe we'll get a spin-off series.
There's a lot of potential for spin-offs and other things that are headed our way.
I just want
Because
Frank Castle to get another spin-off, man. I want him to get his own series again. I want him to come back and wow people, and hopefully he gets greenlit.
it's okay. On one side, we're talking about Frank Castle. On the other
Yeah,
side, we you mentioned a very important part, which is the spin-off series.
yeah,
So a lot can happen here
yeah,
because uh, through Daredevil, we might see introduction of other street level heroes. I read, I'm not sure, I'm not like 100% confirmed that Kristen Ritter is going to be reprising her role as Jessica Jones.
yes,
We still don't know about Mike Coulter as Luke Cage. We still don't
mm,
know about Finn Jones as Iron Fist.
yeah,
uh, we are seeing not only what will happen with the street level heroes who will be eventually connected with Spider-Man,
yeah.
but
Uh,
also at the same time what will happen with the martial arts superheroes. That's another bit. Will we see another season of the Defenders?
Man, if anything, hopefully they do another Defenders at some point. But if anything, because I feel like this was a popular series for a while, the Heroes for Hire, Luke Cage and Iron Fist.
Yes,
If
yes.
any, if anything, I hope they come back and do that. They're like, this can be Iron Fist redemption. Team them up with Luke Cage. Have them open up their own, crime fighting Heroes for Hire office or something, where they take people's phone calls, where they help people out as much as they can. Give us that series, if anything. It has been done before. I feel like there was potential in Netflix back in the day, but they never fully tapped into that. So hopefully the execs and the people over at Marvel and Disney, hopefully they can see some potential there.
Do we see, just like in the comic books, Wolverine teaming up or becoming part of this?
Oh man, he's Wolverine is too big of a character to bring him to a series. I wish, man, but I feel like we just had Deadpool and Wolverine. There are rumors of him coming back in the next couple of Avengers movies. I feel like there's just too much potential for him on the big screen to bring him to the small screen. We definitely will see Wolverine, whether it's Hugh Jackman or another actor. Whether it's sooner or later, that's yet to be determined. But he's a huge character, man. Everyone loves him. But I feel like there are too many TV characters that are explored that could come back. There are too many TV characters that we haven't explored yet. I feel like there's just so much that we haven't done yet that we could do. And I feel like Wolverine between I feel like he's got one foot in the X-Men and he's slightly stepping into he's borderlining the Avengers.
He's borderlining the Avengers, and I also want to ask you about another very important superhero who has a very strong relationship with the street level heroes,
Yeah, who's that?
Blade.
Oh my goodness, man! You've touched on so many scars right now. I swear to God. So okay, um, Blade has been in development for forever, and Mahershala Ali has been tapped to play Blade, and I think we've talked about this before.
Yes.
Um, so Kevin Feige has said we won't do it unless it's right.
Yeah.
And I feel like because Blade, again, is one of these characters where he's been established before, people love him, right? We've had the Wesley Snipes movies. Um, they want to do him right. And to get an Academy Award winner like Mahershala Ali is the right move. But I feel like he's been on the sidelines for so long waiting for a script. And he has said that he is not happy with the last few versions of the script. So,
Not only him, it was Kevin Feige also, because
yeah,
he fired the previous team when
yeah,
he saw the script.
yeah,
There has been a huge mess, but now they're saying it's on track.
yeah,
Mahershala Ali is still signed up with the project. He didn't
yeah,
leave the project,
yeah.
and
So,
let's just hope for the best in this regard. Now, I think we have covered pretty much of everything that was shown to us in this trailer. Uh, am I missing something?
so I've only seen it the one time right now with you. I'm gonna watch it a couple more times. I may catch something again. Today we're using my very small screen on my phone, so I'm sure I missed a whole lot of things. So I'll watch it a couple of times on a bigger screen on my TV. You'll watch it a couple more times. Whether we find a whole lot of things and decide to do another video, we'll see. But as for now, this has been our reaction. We're incredibly excited. I feel like this is the most hyped Marvel show to date since Disney Plus has launched. I feel like we've had a couple shows where we're like, oh, okay, I'll check it out. This is the one show we are the most excited for. Well, speaking for myself, maybe you as well. Are you really excited for this above everything else they've released in the past?
Well, I am a bit mixed on that, because my decision was primarily diluted, I would use the word,
Yeah.
because of Disney's track record of how they ruined many of the valuable IPs that they touched on.
Mm,
Ever since Spider-Man No Way Home, which people don't call it a Disney project, they call it a Sony. I call it a Sony Disney project. And plus,
oh,
Spider-Man by the end of the day is Marvel.
yeah,
So if we are talking about Endgame and Spider-Man No Way Home,
yeah,
uh, the only exceptions that stood out were WandaVision and Moon Knight.
yeah,
But after these two series, everything was trashed
yeah,
so bad, that, I don't have the trust on Disney as much as I used to back in the 90s, back in the 80s, because both you and I, we grew up on Disney.
yeah,
So I'm still cautious,
yeah,
because by the end of the day, we saw the Echo series.
yeah.
I'm not going
Oh,
to say it's a masterpiece at all. Uh, it was more of, I mean, if people are having complaints about Iron Fist series from Marvel's Netflix, Iron Fist was way more exciting than what we saw in Echo.
I will say about one thing about Iron Fist and Echo, and I feel like the same applies to both shows. These are shows where I feel like if you don't deliver by the first, second, third episode at the most people will tap out. And
Exactly.
and I force watched these series. I was like, by the end of every episode, like, oh my goodness, hopefully the next episode will be better, and it
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah.
None of the episodes were good. I'm pretty sure everyone feels the same way. I don't mean to hate on it, but that is these are the facts. It just wasn't good.
It
It just both series just didn't go anywhere. Um, I will say that Iron Fist season 2 got better. I will say that with
so
Colleen. Uh,
Colleen. Okay.
yes, she it got better. I don't know if it was because of her. I don't know if it was because they took the focus off Iron Fist and towards this other character. But the show got better, and will never know if it was destined for greatness. If they had a better idea in mind for the end of it, it ended abruptly. But guys, please start off strong and end strong.
Yeah.
That's how you get your audience. That's how you hook us in. You hook us in with a strong series. You don't hook us in by saying, "Well, the ending will be great." No, the start has to be great. The ending has to be great.
No doubt, no doubt about that, no doubt about that. And right now, what's gonna happen is that man, I had to turn this off so that people could have seen you much more clearly. My apologies
Oh,
on that part.
oh, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, so my thing is, here's a hint that I'm sharing with all of the viewers, and I'm sharing it with you also.
Yeah.
Disney is a master when it comes to keeping the audiences glued up to episode 3, and after that the quality declines. Whew, goes nose it nosedives.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, we just have to be mindful. I hope that we get the Daredevil exactly or better the way it was established by uh, Netflix and Marvel TV back in the mid 2010s. And we just need our heroes the way they are supposed to be, rather than like this watered down version, this DEI stupidity and woke and all these things. No, we just want plain and simple superheroes that we grew up reading, superheroes who were redefined by the likes of Frank Miller, by the likes of Brian Michael Bendis, by the likes of Anne Nocenti, who is not mentioned that much. uh, so my cat's patience is also running out. So uh, till now I have seen only one comment coming in from YouTube, but no comment or questions from the community on X, though I'm really grateful that most of our viewers have come from X. So thank you guys. Thank you, Son of Sparta, for making a
Oh,
comeback.
can I
Just
add
one thing,
something?
yeah, just one thing, guys. We are just less than a month away from the release of Captain America: Brave New World. We are few weeks away from the launch of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man animated series. Daredevil is going to be broadcasted in March, so we're pretty stacked. Please, Son of Sparta, you were saying.
Oh, I just want to say, if you go back, and I hope a lot of you, I certainly will go back and rewatch the first couple of seasons of Daredevil, the first series. It's on Disney Plus right now. They put so much care and effort into building each and every one of these characters. So,
Yes.
like Kingpin, I would say he got the most villain character development, maybe in all of Marvel. I don't know if we got another villain who got this much character development. We got to see his childhood and what he had to go through to become this person he is today. So, and my favorite line in the entire series, I don't know if we've talked about this or not, but is when I can't remember which character is talking to Matt, but I think they ask him, "What do you see?" Because I think he insinuates that he sees something, and he
Yeah.
says, I see a world on fire." And that was so deep. And they show us he sees the buildings burning and everything, and that haunts him day in and day out. It's the first thing he sees every day. So that got us a huge clue into this character of what has to go through every day and what he has to live with. So hopefully we get something like that in the new series. I certainly hope so.
Yes, we do. We do hope certainly that the decline that we saw in the last few years is over. 2025 is going to be a bounce back year, not only for Marvel fans but also for DC fans, and especially Daredevil, Captain America, Fantastic Four, Superman, Thunderbolts. Uh,
Man, this
so
is the
much is
year
headed
for
our
comic
way.
movies.
Yeah, come again.
This is the year for us fans, people who are looking forward to comic book content, whether it's movies, TV shows, video games. Everything's happening this year. We're fine. I feel like this is the year where we can finally say we're over COVID and we're finally starting to see some real projects in development or being set out the gate for the first time in years. Everything's finally coming together again. So we're seeing the fruits of the labor of waiting.
Yeah.
All these TV shows, all these movies coming at once. This is our year, guys. This is it.
With that, I bring
Mm.
this live broadcast to a conclusion. Stay tuned for more of our trailer reactions, monthly live broadcast showcasing superhero fandom in the Arabian Peninsula, and as well as our vlogs, our other type of content when the movies get released, post movie launch review, and so forth. So just stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure to do it now. If you're not following me on X, make sure to do it now. This is where people like Son of Sparta, the die-hard fans who represent the superhero fandom in the Arabian Peninsula, will be showing up, and many more of them will be showing up, inshallah. So, thank you to each and every one of you. Have a good night.